You both write about how this pandemic, in your view, will be as defining as World War II. What are the key steps to take right now?
Well, we have to do two things at once. We have to bring this epidemic to an end, primarily by getting the vaccine out in large numbers to the entire world. And we have to make sure that we're ready because there will be another pandemic. A pathogen with a high death rate would be picked. Now, the good news is, I'm not trying to depress you, it's tough enough right now, that most of the work we're going to do to be ready for pandemic 2, I call this pandemic 1, most of the work we'll do to be ready for that are also the things we need to do to minimize the threat of bioterrorism. So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time. So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time. That, I'd say is will get attention this time. That, I'd say is will get attention this time. So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one.
According to the World Organization for Animal Health, more than 40 countries across Asia, Europe, and Africa have reported bird flu outbreaks since May. The mass outbreaks, which have been overshadowed by the pandemic, have threatened to drive up food prices, which are nearing record levels. In Europe, a new wave of bird flu risks, combined with labor shortages and high feed and energy costs, have led to a huge surge in poultry prices. According to the UN World Food Program, world meat prices have increased 16% this year and are at the highest seasonal level since 2014. While poultry production is largely adequate to meet the global demand, shipping hurdles and flu outbreaks in Europe and Asia are adding to the supply challenges. Millions of birds were culled in Europe last winter due to bird flu, and cases this year are rising earlier than usual, forcing countries like the UK to order birds indoors to protect them from the virus.
Now, as the world battles a new wave of COVID-19, France is witnessing a surge in bird flu infections. Now, in a bid to contain bird flu virus outbreak, French government has decided to cull hundreds of thousands of poultry.
The virus has made the jump from wildlife, from these migratory animals and cranes, to stock animals, things like chickens and turkeys that are now being culled. Could it again make the jump to humans in a few more weeks or months?
Yes. It's coming from the state of Israel, which is battling with a pretty sharp rise in the number of COVID-19 infections. And if that wasn't enough, believe it or not, Israel is also facing a double whammy. There is a serious outbreak of avian flu that's been reported across the country, and more than 5,000 migratory birds that got infected by this H5N1 virus have reportedly died. Now, this is being touted as the deadliest wildlife disaster in the country's history. Authorities warn of a possible egg shortage in the days to come due to a culling of poultry birds that has now been ordered as a precaution to stop the spread of the avian flu in the state of Israel. Now, at this point of time, the transmission of the H5N1 virus to humans has been reported. However, Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett met with his national security advisor and other experts to discuss efforts to contain the outbreak of avian flu within the country, and also to further prevent it from jumping from birds onto humans. And in a bid to do so, people who have been in close contact with the infected birds are being given preventive treatment. Now, according to the Israeli media, children who have visited the reserve, that is the reserve of these migratory birds, may have contributed to the spread of the flu by touching the stricken cranes at the reserve.
Okay, well, while people have been squawking about somebody named, a doctor named Robert on being on somebody's show while people were squawking about the insurrection and the things going on in politics. The elite have been hatching a plan. And this is what I see for 2022. I really hope I'm wrong, but I just am going by what I'm seeing. But I believe what Bill Gates was talking about, Pandy number 2, was this bird flu that we're going to see in 2022. The massive attack. It's going to be the new bird flu outbreak. Could be 2022's deadliest pandemic. Yes, this is what Bill Gates was talking about. And we can look in the headline, in the news, and we can see all these images of bird dumps and poultry dumps, farmers just dumping all these thousands of chickens and creating an artificial food shortage, a manufactured crisis. They want to make sure that we don't have any eggs, we don't have any food, we don't have any chicken, and that we're just going to be eating 3D printed chicken flavored Soylent crackers that or chicken flavored dust for your tasting pleasure. But we won't be able to get the real deal. Tastes like chicken, but it's going to be Soylent, and we're going to be happy and own nothing. So that's what they have planned for us. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And like I said, I really hope I'm wrong, but this is what I see for 2022. There was, as we can see, there's this rare transmission is happening where it's jumping to people. And let's actually take a look at this guy who is the UK's first bird flu patient, describes heartbreak after cull of 160 pet ducks. Oh no. So who owns these ducks? Oh, it's Alan Gosling. You can't make this up. The young goose, Gosling. Yes, he was named UK's bird flu patient 0. Is now stuck inside alone after testing positive for the disease, sparking concerns from his family. So Alan Gosling, who has been named as the UK's bird flu patient 0, is now stuck inside alone after testing positive for the disease, sparking concerns from his family. Oh, the father of 3 took in a flock of local ducks that originally lived near his home. The goose gathered some ducks and was keeping them. But after noticing some of them falling ill, it couldn't have been from frequencies, right? It was definitely the bird flu. But the flock of 160 birds was culled in a bid to stop the spread of the bird flu. And wouldn't you know it, doctors ordered Gosling to take a test for the disease, and despite the H5N1 strain having never infected a human before, the results came back positive. So they just had a test at the ready for bird flu. They were ready to test him for it, and I wonder how much that test costs. I don't know, but they had that test, and what do you know, he came back positive, although it's never ever infected a human before, but it did, and they were ready with the test. So oh my goodness. If you believe this, then I don't know what to tell you, but it is Alan Gosling, and he's a little goose, and he has the bird flu. And this is what Yahoo News is serving to us on a platter. And so this is what we are to believe, okay? This is your programming right here. Oh, yeah. I brought this up because this just reminds me of her bird speech, her bird bath speech, and her privilege scrub speech, because it's kind of a privilege to own chickens, isn't it? That's what they think. It's a privilege to own these animals, and we're going to scrub that privilege, okay? Because it's dangerous to our society, it's dangerous to our democracy, and you don't want to be selfish, right? Okay, so we're going to give a privilege scrub for those who own the birds, and that's kind of what I was. Just reminded me, I was thinking, is she giving some little droplets of truth here? New World Order droplets of truth? I don't know. Just saying. Why did she, what was all that bird bath privilege scrub about? I have no clue, but it just reminded me of this whole bird flu thing. I really do believe that this is what we have to look forward to. And to me, before I was saved, I really believed that, I could see all these things coming, but I thought, well, I'll just find a farmer and ask him if I can work on his farm, and I can, this was a while ago. Now I couldn't even work on a farm, but before, I just thought, well, I'll just work on a farm and have some food, and I'll be able to just work the land and have a place to live. And now I see with this whole thing, I couldn't put my eggs all in that basket, because what's going to happen is these kind of people in hazmat suits are going to be coming onto private farms. And what they're going to say is, well, we've tested one of your birds. We need to test your birds. And we've noticed that they do have bird flu. And so we're going to have to cull the birds, and that people in hazmat suits will come in and take your birds. Either that, or they will direct frequencies at your coop, and your chickens will be gone. They will be dead. And so one way or another, they're going to get your chickens. So there won't be private farms. It will be illegal, and they're going to make sure of it. Okay. Like I said, I really do believe that it's more than anything. I believe it's frequencies, because look at this bird right here. That to me looks like frequencies. It's sick what they're doing. It's from what they are spraying in the sky. It's from what and the birds are breathing that in. And look at that. They're crop dusting the rest of them. Just get the rest of them while you're at it, please. Oh my goodness. This makes me so mad. But the birds are weaker than humans, so they're the first ones dying off. All the sonar, all the radar, all these fish that are coming up and beaching themselves, it's all frequencies. So, but they have to blame it on something, because on the 19th, what's going to happen? They're going to turn on something, whatever, we know what it is, right? They're going to turn it on, they're going to crank it up, and people and animals are going to start dropping. And so they're going to have to blame it on what? The bird flu. Yeah. And also the juiced are going to get the boost. And so we're going to see more and more people expiring from that. So they have to blame it on something. They will blame it on this deadly Pandy called the bird flu. Highly contagious strain. Right. So highly contagious. So if you believe this, if you believe the narrative, then I don't know what to tell you, but I do want to leave you with some good news. I thought this verse was appropriate for this story. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. So I just want to leave you with that. Trust in the Lord. Trust in Jesus. He's the only one that can really save us from what's to come. So God bless you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.